Hi guys, so next on the season preview list, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, two-time defending Super Bowl champions. First of all, you got Andy Reid, future Hall of Fame coach. He leads the Eagles and Chiefs in all-time wins as a coach. Only coach in NFL history to do that with two different teams. It's pretty good. This is his 12th year as the Chiefs head coach. He's won 3 Super Bowls with them. Now, then at offensive coordinator, he got Matt Nagy back. This is his second year, his second 10 years OFC. He used to be the offensive coordinator before he got hired by the Bears, so he left for them. So it's his second tenure there. He's okay OC, but he's not a good head coach. We learned that with the Bears. The defensive coordinator, you got a really good defensive coordinator, a guy who you don't have to worry about leaving for a head coaching job, so you have him for a while until he either retires or he doesn't have a few good years, so you get rid of him. Steve Spagnuolo, because he's had a lot of good defenses, but he had a bad 10 years head coach. 6 years Chiefs DC, former Giants defensive coordinator from 2015 to 2017. Yeah, that's it for the coaching staff. They got a great coaching staff. Like when you have a future Hall of Fame coach when he's done coaching, that's a pretty good start. So yeah, like he's a really good head coach. So that's it for the coaching staff. Next, you go to their depth chart. The quarterback, you got one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league right now. He has the potential if he has a lot more good years. Like let's just say he's on pace to be one of the top quarterbacks ever. Like he should be, but it's hard to say because injuries still happen. This past season, he had over 4,100 yards, 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Might as well just say 13 because like he threw a pick six week one against the Lions, but like he had a perfect throw right to Kadarius Toney's hands and he dropped it. And I think it was Brian Branch for the Lions had a pick six off of it. It's like what is he supposed to do? Like this is like he can't do anything about it. Like he had a lot. It's right. He had a lot. It was a lot. Receivers struggled with a lot of drops last year. That's his regular season stats in the postseason. As we mentioned, he did play four games. He had 404 completions. He had 6 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had 0 touches in the ground. So yeah, like he should be a future Hall of Fame quarterback. Like yeah, he's that good. And behind him, we got former first round pick Carson Wentz. He's a fine backup, but at this point he shouldn't be starting. Like he ever since that injury he tore his ACL with the Eagles in 2017, he just has not been the same. It just sucks. Just like he had to watch his team win the Super Bowl without him that year after he was having a potential MVP season. But he's a fine backup. That's really about it. And behind them, you got Chris Oladokun and Ian Book. Ian Book is terrible. Chris Oladokun, you don't really know what he has. He was a former 7th pick by the Steelers, but so we'll see. But yeah, like he should be able to make it over Ian Book because Ian Book is not good. He should not be backup anywhere. Then let's go to running back. A running back, you got Isaiah Pacheco. He had a good sophomore year last year. He was a really good pick in the 7th round a couple years ago. He had 205 carries, 935 yards, 7 touchdowns. He was 4.6 yards a carry. On the receiving game, he had 44 catches for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns for the air. So he had 9 touchdowns. He did better, and yeah, like he only played 14 games. He missed a few games, so if he played even just one more of those games, he probably would have had 1,000 yards. And if he played all 17, he probably would have had 10 touchdowns. He might not have, but it could have happened. Like 3 less games, he had more carries for 3 less games. He had over almost 100 more yards. Considering going into this year, they knew he was going to be a starter versus last year. They had a good camp, but they didn't know for sure. Behind them, you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's a good backup, but he was not worth that first round pick they used on him. And they don't have Jared McKinnon anymore, or Jet, his nickname. Like he is a good backup as well, but so yeah, you pretty much have to hope Pacheco can start if needed at times, but don't really want to. Behind us, you got Deneric Prince and Conte Ingram, really just young developmental guys. Those two, you got your running back room is pretty young. Like Prince is 24. He's not very old. Ingram, he is 24. He's only 25 in the middle of the season, but right now he's 24. Former 6th round pick. He's okay. He's not very good, but who cares about you if he's your fourth guy? But then you brought in former Rigby star Luis Rios Summit. He's gonna be a running back. I think he might play a little wide receiver too. I think that's what I heard somewhere. But say we'll see. He's a former rugby player. So that's it for the running backs. Now let's go to wide receiver. Your first running back, wide receiver, you brought in Marquise Brown. It's your free agent. Brought him in from the Cardinals. Before that, the Ravens. He's had some good years, but he hasn't been very consistent. You don't. He's okay. You would love to have him like Xavier Worthy be your break out. Like he used that speed to his advantage to be number two. Barkley's Trans number two is fine. Number one, you got Rasheed Rice. He had a really good rookie year. Promise. He's still with legal troubles, so we'll see what happens. Still, and then you got Justin Watson. He's been there for a while and he's fine. You also got Sky Moore, recent draft. I think it was a 2nd round pick a few years ago, going to his 3rd year. Then they got Kadarius Toney. He was a 1st round pick by the Giants a few years ago. But like this day I have him as 6th wideout. But like a few days ago, like the Chiefs official depth chart had him as their 9th wideout, so it's gonna be tough for him to make the roster. But he had a lot of bad drops last year. Like him and Marcus Valdez-Scantling, who is now gone, had some really bad drops. So then you also got Justin Ross. He's dealt with a lot of injuries. Like he didn't really like his first year Clemson college. A lot of people were going to be eventual 1st round pick, but they dealt with a lot of injuries, so he's a later round pick. It's hard. We don't have really got them. You also got McCall Hardman. He has a decent chance of making over Ross. Ross might be practice squad guy. Well, Hardman for sure will make it just for his return. He has a good chance to make it just for his return ability. But Worthy is so fast, they might put Worthy at returner. Then behind them, you got Nico Ramigo, young developmental guy. Cornell Powell, young developmental guy. I don't. Then you also got Montreal Washington and Phillip Brooks. They're depth. They're not going to make the roster. Even if they move them up, all those Highland 3 guys up one with Tony being far down. But, like, yeah. So that's it for wideout. Receiving group, you got some good wide receivers. You don't have a proven guy that can be your number one, but you got some highly drafted guys you hope you can. And if you don't, you still got Travis Kelce. For his standards, he had a little bit of a down here, like start of year, but you could tell he kind of wasn't fully healthy. He did miss 2 games, but he had 93 catches, almost 1,000 yards, and 5 touchdowns. If he played one more of those games, he would have had 1,000 yards. You could definitely tell they missed him week 1 against the Lions last year. He's a top type. He's one of the best Lions ever. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Behind him, you got Noah Gray. He's shown he can be a good backup. That's really about it. You got Jared Riley and Irv Smith Jr. Irv Smith Jr., he's been a good 10 in times. Problem is, he has dealt with a lot of injuries. He's had some bad drops. There's a reason a few years. It helped when he got injured for the Vikings the last year there. There's a reason why they traded picks to get Hawkinson and instead of trying to just keep Smith around and extended him because Smith was not very good for us in his tenure in Minnesota. So he's okay. But I think he has a decent chance to make it over Wiley, but we'll see if he can stay healthy is the key there. So that's it for the weapons. Now let's go to your offensive line. You got some really good offensive linemen. So at starting left tackle, they have Kingsley Samuel, but I feel like it's between him and Morris. Is your starting left tackle? Maybe even Nying might swing over to left. But I feel like Morris probably could win it just because he has had extra year to develop. But they are both. Samuel was 2nd round pick. I think So Morris was a 3rd round pick, but he had an extra year to develop. So we'll see. But Samuel he has a good chance to be in their start as well. It's just young developmental guys. It's kind of hard to tell for sure. Just who is further well in their development. Then behind them, we got Chuka, Wobika, Roderick, and Griffin McDowell. Those guys should make the roster. Maybe one of those practice squad guys. That's it. And then you go to possibly your probably your top interior trio offensive lineman in the league. Like you got not it's like some teams have two good interior guys. They don't have three. Chiefs have three really good interior guys. You have Joe Tooney. He's pretty good, but like there's a chance like he might be your worst guard. And that's crazy. Like for worst interior. Then the center you got Creed Humphrey. He's a really good center. He was a steal in the second round a few years ago, but he is coming up on a contract year, so he's don't want to get paid. Just like and the same thing. Trey Smith. He's not really a good tier guy. He was a steal in the sixth round. He's another guy coming on contract year. It's like with the Chiefs cap space troubles with all the guys they're paying. Are they gonna be able to keep both of them? They're not for sure keep one of them. It's just gonna be tough to keep both. But they can keep both. That's great. Lock up those two guys, like your top two linemen long term. Tooney is getting up there, so he's going to be there forever. And then behind them at guards, you've got Mike Caliando and Hunter Norzad. Hunter Norzad's okay depth. Same with Caliano. G. Hansen's the young developmental guy. Then you got Nick Torres. He is not to make the roster. I already mentioned McDowell earlier with the backup tackle. You also have McCade Meditour. He's not good. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, and then we'll go to right tackle. We have brought in Ron Taylor last year. He struggled a little bit with false starts, but he's been fine. But still, like, yeah. And then behind him, we got Lucas Mying, developmental guy. He's all right. I think he opted out of his rookie year, which is why he's still on his rookie contract. I could be wrong though. So yeah, like hopefully he can develop and maybe replace. Like it's gonna be tough for him a starting job just because they have younger guys they have drafted recently. They have Ethan Driscoll. He's not. It's gonna be really tough for him to find a roster spot because they do have a lot of good offensive linemen. Like they don't really have much needs for starting offensive linemen. As it for the offense, they got a really good offense. They should be better wide receiver than they were last year. So then also their defense. Carl Optus was your number one edge, yeah, easily. But your best pass rusher and best defensive lineman is easily Chris Jones. He's really good. Like he 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 definitely deserved that payday he got last into the season, I should say. Because he didn't play his first week of the game because he didn't get paid yet. So yeah, he's really good. Then you got George Claftis. He had a good. I think that was his second year last year. He had a good year, pretty good year. So you get better. And you got Mike Dana. He's all right. You're kind of hoping Anaduke Uzama, a first round pick from 2023, kind of like does him and becomes your second edge. Because you kind of hoping Charles Manuel could have been that, but he's out for this. I think he might be out for a little bit. That's going to be like carrying his okay depth. You got Aaron Carney. He's not going to make the roster. So yeah, that's it for their edge group. Next, let's go to the already talked about Christian. Let's go to the rest of their defensive tackles. Yeah, there's John Wharton. He's all right. We don't really let him start a ton. Is something going on with Derek Notty? Is there a reason he's all the way back at the depth chart? You would hope he would probably be your second defensive tackle like he has been for the past few years. He's better than Wharton. So I don't know if something's going on there. He should be better than that. He should be higher than that. You got Mike Pennell Jr. and Neil Farrell. Neil Farrell's young developmental guy. Pennell is a little older. So yeah. They also got Fabian Levet Sr. and Matt Dickerson. It's going to be up to make the roster. With Derek Nadia ahead of them as well. This should be an active luminary young developmental guy, best practice squad. And that's going to be tough for him to get there. So yeah, that's it for your defensive. That's it for your defensive line. Next, let's go to your linebacker group. You got a good and got another pretty good linebacker. You got a pretty good linebacker group. You brought in Drew Tranquillo last off season, I think on a 1 year deal, and they re-signed him. He had a good year with them. So he's a good linebacker. You also got Nick Bolton, another pretty good linebacker. I see another. I think he is here. I think he's 22. Yeah, he's 2021. So another guy that needs a new contract this offseason. Like it's gonna be tough for the Chiefs to extend all these guys because a lot of these guys are not going to be cheap to extend. Him, um, Creed Humphrey, and Trey Smith. Like those guys are not going to be cheap. Like, they're going to be near the top of the position group pay per year wise. As they should be because they're both all really good. They also got Lilo Chanel. He's all right. Hopefully, he can get better. He was I think, a third, fourth round pick a couple years ago. Then you have Curtis Jacobs, rookie from Penn State. He was a surprise going drafted. A lot of people thought he should have gone drafted. So yeah, but he's probably won't make the roster. He should be practice squad at least, but he's not. He shouldn't be starting unless injury happens. You also got Jack Cochran and Cole Christensen. They're both okay. They're depth. That's really it. You also got Cam Jones and Swayze Bozeman. They don't make the roster. Maybe. Keyword maybe. That's key maybe. Practice squad guys. See, they got another good group. They got two good linebackers, and Chanel, Tranquil, and Bolton. Got good depth, and Chanel and potentially Jacobs. Hard to say for sure because he was UDFA. So, but yeah, so that's it for the linebacker group. Next, let's go to the secondary. Another pretty young position group. Like for how this team has been competing for a long time, like this team has had some good draft picks because a lot of them are later in most rounds, which have been good. So, in your best top corner, it should be a Trent McDuffie. He had a really good year last year. He's really good. Like they trade up in front of the Chiefs and Bills in his draft here to get him because they knew the Bills needed a corner, and everyone's worked out pretty well for him, I think. But he also got Joshua Williams, another young guy. I think this is his third year now because I think he was the same draft. Yeah, he was another 2022 draft guy, like McDuffie was. He also got into Z Johnson. He's another third year guy from 2022 draft. So I think he's probably those three guys. He's most likely to get beat out as a starter. Like you got Jalen Watson, he's been decent. You also got Calvin Joseph, he's been good at times. He could beat him out. Hey, Jalen Watson's. I think Watson had some starting time his rookie year, so he could do that again. Yeah, like they had a lot of draft picks in secondary 2022, and it worked out pretty well because they have some good starters. Then they also I already mentioned Joseph. They have Jane. They have they have Tamari Connor. He's a young guy as well. He could get some starting time since his second year. He showed some flashes into the year, but he didn't get to play much. See, he also played a little safety, I think. See, I mean, those guys got Kamal Hayden and Echo Boyai Do. They're best practice squad guys. They're not that good. Same thing with Miles Battle and Keith Taylor Jr. They're not that great. Let's go to safeties. A strong safety. You got Justin Reed. He's been really pretty good for him past 2 years after they let Tyron Matthew leave and they signed him instead. Pretty good for them. He did good with the Texans as well. We'll see if he's back for weekend one because he was placed in the non-football injury list. So we'll see. The quad injury. Hopefully he'll be back by week one for them, but it might not be. If AJ Connor, I feel like Shamari Connor might be their starting strong safety at that point. Obviously, there's Brian Cook at 3 just because Connor can play both, and I feel like he's shown enough flashes last year to be starting over Hicks or Bush. Yes, got Brian Cook, another another 2022 draft guy. Like he's done. He had some. He's been decent. He hasn't started some, but he's been good. Yeah, like the Chiefs had a really good, he had a pretty good 2022 draft, a pretty good 2021 draft. Too early to tell in 2023, and then obviously no 2024. Excuse me, hasn't played single snaps, so it's hard. You can't really say much until like you can say like, oh, they like had steals like where everybody thought they'd get drafted. But the main show is how they do in actual games. So then at strong, you also got Jaden Hicks. He's a backup. He's a fourth round pick, but I feel like he's. Yeah, I think they'll probably have Connor Moore at a cornerback position, and they might have Hicks as your hopeful eventual just replacement. I think they originally signed him a 3-year deal when they signed him, so I think he's a free agent in this season. Honestly, they could extend him. With all the deals they got to do this offseason, it's gonna be tough. It's like you can't. It's kind of hard to oh, we finally got one done. Oh, we just got all these other guys we have to extend still. We're not anywhere near done. You also got Deion Bush. He's okay. You know, he'll probably make this roster. He'll probably be your backup straw free just because you don't really have much. But Tyree Gillespie, he was a young developmental guy, so he might make the rush from him. But Gillespie is for sure should be practice squad guy. Kristen Roland Wallace, was he a rugby guy as well? I feel like well, he's okay. Oh, yeah, he's a USC guy. He's okay. He's probably practice squad guy. Same thing with DJ Miller Jr. He's not that good either. Like this team is really good again. Like this team had a couple losses, but they didn't have too many big name losses, so they should be fine. So yeah, I'll see. They should have another good year. It's really tough on the 3P because like a lot of people had the Chiefs like as their number one target to beat last year. Now the Chiefs have the finish Super Bowl chance, so even more than that. And well, it's gonna be tough. Like there's a reason nobody has won 3 straight Super Bowls in Super Bowls history. It's not easy. Tough to win two in a row, let alone three. Especially nowadays where the league is a lot more competitive versus back like the last time, like back before Super Bowls were a thing. There was a lot less teams, and there was not most team like there was no free agency. So a lot of guys stay on the same teams until the end of the career. Yeah, that's it for their defense. They got a pretty good defense. It should be good again. The Jerry Sneak could be. It should be a pretty big loss, but they got some young guys that they hope can replace him. I don't think it's gonna be like, oh, we can. This one guy's that's just goes Snead and can relish some and be just as fine. I feel like it's just gonna be you don't have a lot of corner depth that helps make up for that and help McDuffie your main number one corner because Snead had a really good year last year for the Chiefs. Now let's go to their special teams. Kicker, you got Harrison Butker, who's the newest highest paid kicker in NFL history. For a reason, he's a really good kicker. There's a lot of people that don't like him anymore because of the whole that speech he had at what's his all matter college, I think, a few months ago. Like, but still, like no women, he didn't. Most women did not like that very much. So punter, you batted, you lost Johnny Townsend. He's one of the top punters. You brought in Matariza. He wasn't. I think was he like the punt god? Was that I think his nickname or something? He's pretty good as well. Well, he can be a pretty good punter. Like a lot of people thought he'd be pretty good as a punter coming out. Like there's a reason as a punter shots in fourth round. Like fourth round's pretty high for our special teamers. It's the kicker slash punters. He had legal problems. He wasn't found guilty or anything, so that's a good thing. The Bills did release him. So now let's go to returners. You got Xavier Worthy. I feel like, and then you also Nico Romingo. I feel like Hardman's gonna be your main returner for both, just because he actually can be a good returner. But you might want Worthy's speed out there at some point. So if you feel like you need a big play and you want speed out there to return it, you might put out Worthy just because he's super fast. He's so yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's it for returners. I know I mentioned the third string guys because those guys aren't really returning at all. And long snapper, you got James Winchester. Who cares? Sorry, no offense to him, but I just don't pay attention to long snappers. That's it for the whole roster. They got a pretty good roster. Let's go to their schedule. But they got a pretty tough schedule. Like, you start off your season with 2 games you can win. You have a good chance of because it's at home. But 2 games that should be really good again, and the Ravens and Bengals. Those are not some easy teams to beat. And they got 2 games you should win against the Falcons and Chargers. You should beat the Saints. You got your bye week. You go. I don't know if you're bye going into San Fran. I feel like San Fran's some on revenge for the Super Bowl loss. So I feel like San Fran's have all that energy they need to beat the Chiefs this time. Then you have the Raiders. You're not sleep the Raiders. Like, you're not sweep your whole. You should be able to sweep your whole division. Like, the Chargers got a new head coach. Like, Harbaugh's had some good years. Had some good years in San Fran before he went to college, but that's been a long time. A lot of things have changed. Broncos have unproven quarterbacks. The Raiders have unproven quarterbacks, so they should sweep their whole division. They should beat the Bucs. Once again, they should sweep the Broncos. I think they're gonna be able to beat the Bills once again in the regular season. Finally, again in the regular season, like, Bills have a number in the regular season lately, but the Chiefs have got them where it matters. The postseason. So then they got Panthers win, Raiders win, Chargers should be a win. Got the Browns, you should win that one. Texans, that should be another really good game. I feel like you should be able to win that one as well. Steelers win, Broncos a win. It's just like, they had some really tough teams on the schedule, but they always had also had some pretty easy divisions. It helped 2 games. Health of the division isn't the greatest. But yeah, but the Chargers and Chiefs, ever since Herbert came to the league, seems like those 2 teams, Herbert and Mahomes, seems like they always have great games. So assuming Herbert plays for both of their games, doesn't get injured, those games should be really fun to watch again. It just seems like they always do, even if the Chargers aren't that good and the Chiefs are way better than them. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.